and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Alderman Simonetti.
Present.
Alderman McKinnon.
Here.
Alderman McPherson.
Present.
Alderman Perry.
Present.
Alderman Anglais, present. Alderman Balamasi.
Here.
Alderman Simons.
Here.
Alderman Durante. Alderman Durante.
Present. Present.
What do you call that?
Phone. Zoom.
Zoom. Okay, so everybody's present. At this point, without objection, I would call upon Alderman Simonetti to make a presentation.
Combined. Alderman Balamasi, I'd like to make a presentation for your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Many, many.
It's very loud.
We got some, next to the public portion. Okay, if anybody from the public wishes to address the board. Okay, Mr. Bloom.
Good afternoon, all. Being that this is the public portion, I'm assuming that this is now a public forum.
Please speak into the microphone so we can hear you. Thank you.
Is that microphone on?
Yeah, yes,
That's
it is.
better, yeah.
So I'm assuming this is a public forum, this public portion.
Don't assume anything.
Well, I
The
mean,
public portion is to give the public an opportunity to address the Board of Aldermen. And you can state whatever you'd like to tell us,
okay,
but it does not necessarily involve a back and forth
okay.
discussion.
Well, then my next question would be to address Attorney Titiosio. Sir, is this a public forum, this public portion?
That would be appropriate. He's addressing us.
Address the-
Okay, well, then I'm assuming that it is a public forum.
Where are you getting the word forum? Where are you getting the word forum?
Well-
The agenda says public portion.
Yes, and that allows the public to speak to you all,
That's
which
right.
is,
We're willing to listen. You got up to 5 minutes, so your time is running.
so there are two other segments to this. There is the limited public forum and the non-public forum. So I'm wondering if City Hall, outside of the public portion of this meeting, is considered a limited or a non-public forum?
Go to library.
Okay.
You're gonna have to continue to wonder, because we can't provide you with any answers.
Well, as you may recall, over the past year or so, I have been bitching about the frauditors out there that are using YouTube to earn a living and doing quite handsomely at this. I noticed that our tax office over here has a no cell phone inside of its office. And the town clerks on their door has a turn off cell phones before entering the office. Well, is that a law or a policy?
It's not a law.
Well, then, my gosh, do you know what these frauditors are going to say? Well, it doesn't trump my constitutional right to be the press, to report this. And what they do is they irritate everyone until they either are told to leave, don't leave, the police arrive, order them to leave, and don't leave and get arrested. They post this, on their YouTube channel for money. I've been asking you all to do something about this for over a year now. Great example, a new one, Tyrant Terminator gets terminated by public employees and the police. It's almost half an hour long, but and it'll raise your blood pressure sky high. But if you just watch just one of these videos, you're going to want to like enact some sort of law to prevent this from happening here in town. Good news, though, is D. Leeds Law, aka Chili DeCastro, is sitting in jail in Nevada. He's got about 3 more months to go. He's one of the most notorious. And Auditor DMA, Denver Metro Audit, he calls himself, Christopher Cordova. He made case law. He went into a Social Security office, was ordered not to film in there, did so, was arrested, was tried, convicted, and he's serving time now in federal prison. And they're making money doing this. Okay. Still waiting for the road down at the Riverside Park to be paved. I mean, I brought this up a year ago, and a year ago, next month, I received a letter from Alderman McPherson here, stating that you're all on top of it, and the mayor's aware of this too. It's still gravel over there and potholes, so it's summertime. I don't know what you're all waiting for. It should be done.
If you stick around throughout the entire meeting, you might get some answers.
Okay, good, good. Also, we have had an influx of the invaders. I've noticed a lot of people around town who don't speak English and are foreigners. And since this is a sanctuary state, it's highly likely that they are illegal aliens and they're roaming the city. I don't know what you all can do about it. Also, please be proactive, introduce some sort of legislation that will ban the burqa. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the board?
4:56.
Pardon me?
4 minutes, 56 seconds.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address the board? Yes, no.
Thomas Harbinson, 15 Soundcrest Drive. 2 items. The appointments to commissions. I see you have several on your agenda for tonight. Just want to remind you that the Conservation Commission now has a vacancy and will probably by the end of the summer have a second vacancy. And currently none of our commissioners have active appointments. They have all expired by several years. Second thing, I did bring up to Alderman Anglus my observations about some vehicles for residents in town that are registered out of state. In my vocation, I get to see thousands of cars up close last weekend. And I did count over 30 cars that were registered in New Hampshire, Vermont, and Florida, avoiding our local property taxes. They might not have been Shelton residents, but I'm certainly not seeing strawberries sold to people from Vermont in Shelton. And thirdly, I'm just going to say very briefly, I find the prior comments offensive. Thank you.
Would it be appropriate to refer the automobile license issue to public health and safety?
So
Because the police attend your meeting.
I already addressed this 2 years ago, before Tom brought it to our attention. I understand Danbury is very close to Brewster, New York. I haven't addressed it. 2 years ago, the license reader thing was something they were going to, do, and then it kind of just didn't go anywhere. We could readdress it. I mean, I know we brought it up at 1 year during election time as well. because we suspected someone who was running was also out-of-state plates. So it has been entertaining, but yes, we could absolutely do that.
Yeah, we briefly mentioned it to the assistant chief, is it with the deputy
Kevin.
chief? Deputy chief,
Yeah.
and he informed us that they do have the license readers. And, but we didn't get into it any much more in depth. But if we put it on the Public Health and Safety Committee meeting, because it will result ultimately in revenues. Who knows how much, but nevertheless, what's fair is fair. It should be addressed. So we'll refer it to committee.
Yeah, I know in the city of Bridgeport, they would go around and just scan all the vehicles in front of residential properties. And the reason I know is my late parents' house is there, and I don't live there, haven't lived there in over 40 years. And, you know, they sent me a letter saying, it looks like your car's not registered here. And I had to show proof that I lived in, you know, somewhere else. So, yeah, I mean, other cities do it, and I think it's a good idea.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address the board in the public portion? There being none, we'll close the public portion and move on to the agenda. There are additions to the agenda. Alderman McPherson, would you read make a motion to add the items to the agenda?
Move to add the following items to the full board meeting agenda under item number 6, legislative old, 6.1 B, Charter Revision Commission appointments. Under 8, financial business new, 8.7, garbage disposal agreement, 8.8, G&H paving LLC invoice payment, and under 10, item 10, executive session, item 10.4, Bishop Development of City of Shelton LLC versus City of Shelton.
Is that 10.4, 10.3?
10.4.
And there's a typo.
It's a typo, so it's 10.4.
10.4.
Okay.
Yep. So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So ordered unanimously. Okay. Start with the minutes for approval. Minutes for approval. I won't read the minute. I won't read the dates, but there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meetings to minutes to be approved.
Move to approve the following meeting minutes.
Waive the reading and approve.
Yep, move to waive the reading and approve the following meeting minutes. Board of Aldermen regular meeting, May 9th, 2024. Board of Aldermen public hearing on the budget, May 14th. Board of Aldermen special meeting, May 16th. Board of Aldermen special meeting, May 23rd, and Board of Aldermen special meeting, May 31st, 2024.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. Item 6.1B, Charter Revision Commission appointments.
Move to rescind the action taken at the April 23rd, 2024 Board of Aldermen special meeting. Item 2, appointments to Charter Revision Commission. Further move to approve the following resolution. Whereas the City of Shelton wishes to create a Charter Revision Commission, and whereas the Board of Aldermen agree that it is timely to examine the current city charter, and whereas the Board of Aldermen wishes to appoint 5 member commission to conduct the review in accordance with Connecticut General Statute 7-190A, and whereas such state statute requires that a deadline be established for completion of the commission's draft report within 16 months after the commission's appointment. Now, therefore, the Board of Aldermen of the City of Shelton does hereby create a Charter Revision Commission consisting of 5 members and orders the completion of its draft report no later than July 25th, 2024 to the appointing authority, and further that the Shelton electors are hereby appointed to such commission. Win Apple, Republican, 34 Soundview Avenue. Joanna Carloni, Republican, 120 Howe Avenue. Ruth Ann Dunford, unaffiliated, 5 Braylock Way. David Pizzuto, unaffiliated, 5 Applewood Drive.
52.
Oh, 52, I'm sorry. and Peter Finch, unaffiliated, 23 Brant Point, all of Shelton.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. There are no financial business hold. 8.1 statutory refunds, June statutory refunds.
Move that the report of the tax collector relative to the refund of taxes for the total amount of $16,330.23 be approved, and that the finance director be directed to make payments in accordance with the certified list received from the tax collector, with funds to come from the statutory refunds account.
So second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. Item 8.2, 2024 Neighborhood Assistance Act NAA Tax Credit Program.
Move to approve the proposals for the Neighborhood Assistant Tax Credit Program as submitted, and authorize the proposals to be submitted to the State of Connecticut Department of Revenue Services. Number one, Shelton Economic Development Corporation, program title Community Service, $15,000. Two, Boys and Girls Club of Lower Naugatuck Valley, program title Homework Assistance, amount $50,000. Three, Junior Achievement of Greater Fairfield County Incorporated, program title Financial Literacy and Work Readiness Programs for Shelton Youth, amount $80,000. Four, Housatonic Council Incorporated, Boy Scouts of America, program title Summer Camp, amount $4,000. And five, Center Stage Theater Incorporated, program title Lighting Upgrades to Theater Spaces at Center Stage Theater, amount $100,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Discussion. I just want to take the time that while we're going through this to note that the efforts that were made and put into this by the Shelton Economic Development Corporation, in particular Paul Grimmer, and soliciting the community for input, holding meetings to explain in detail what happened, what this is all about. There were 2 or 3 different meetings to do it, and took over a period of a few months to get this done. It's a major undertaking. It's a major benefit to our community and to the organizations that are on here seeking assistance in their programs. So I think we should support it wholeheartedly. Any other comments?
If I may, Mr. English, I reviewed the document that's sitting here. I have to tell you, it's very comprehensive, and you work behind the scenes and quietly. These are the things that people don't always see. I want to thank you and your staff for an excellent job bringing to the city the information that we need to do the right thing and to meet all the standards of the federal and state government that help us get grants. And you've done an excellent job with this. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
John, I just want to add
Yep.
to compliments to Paul and his staff too. I met with Paul a few months ago, and when this was coming into being, Ben and I have talked about it. We've been in great communication, and we've met about it. There's just a lot of really good things that we can do with this, and you see some of these things listed here. So thank you again, Paul.
All right, any further comment? No further comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. Item 8.3, funding for structural firefighting gear and equipment for the fire department.
Move to appropriate an amount of $95,000 for the purchase of structural firefighting gear and equipment for the fire department, with funding to come from aldermanic bonding pursuant to section 7.16 of the city charter.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Discussion only by way of explanation. Things like you see the firemen go out there with gear on when they come to a fire. That gear only has a useful life for so long, and it's heat resistant, and it loses its ability to resist the heat, and it has to be replaced. All the equipment is only got a useful life of so long, and so this replenishment of structural firefighting gear takes place periodically, annually, in fact. Any other comments? There being none, all
Since,
those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously.
if I may take a moment, because the public doesn't always know, I'll get into the record. The firefighting gear, the boots, gloves, helmet, hood, shields as required, that's $4,600 per set. The sets of rescue airbags, hardware is 13,000 a set. Standpipe hose is $550. So it's an expensive program, but that's what keeps our people safe. And in fact, during the festival, the Flag Day celebration today, we had the large truck up with the ladder up with the flag hanging from it. The bell rang, we heard the firemen, and suddenly the flag was down and they were racing off to a structure fire. These people deserve all the equipment we get them, and the best. Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. Item 8.4, funding for citywide road rehabilitation.
Move to appropriate amount of $500,000 for the rehabilitation of roads citywide with funding to come from aldermanic bonding pursuant to section 7.16 of the city charter.
Second.
The motion made, second discussion. This $500,000 usually ends up being more, but it starts the ball rolling, and the Public Works Department can now get going and start the planning. And in fact, I was talking to them today, and they're going to start on Monday. Tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow.
Well, they've already started working on
East Village Road.
East Village roads. They started taking, they're getting everything removed around the basins.
Scheduling of the park, the scheduling of when they're going to do the park will be up to them to determine when the appropriate time is that road deserves to be repaved or what has to happen. But the money's in place, they can get started. Any further comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. 8.5, Civitas citywide broadband agreement. It says here is backup to come.
Yeah, I don't have anything on it.
There's an agreement. I don't have an agreement. Is there an agreement?
There's a proposed written contract that has been reviewed. These are the people that.
Would you use the microphone, please? I can't hear you.
There is a proposed written contract that was generated by the group that came before you, I want to say approximately 4 months ago, with regard to showing an audio-visual presentation as to what they wanted to do, primarily with wireless here in the city. I've reviewed that contract. It essentially gives the community broadband ability to this Civitas group for purposes of building a network that the public would utilize. It does have components in it that allow Civitas to profit from the installation. It has information in it that would allow setting up these electrical filling stations or fueling stations that you're starting to see because of the prevalence of EV, electrical vehicles. It's a decision of the alderman as to whether or not you want to go forward.
Well, do you?
I'd like to
what's your
table it.
pleasure?
I'd like to table it. Table it. Table it, yeah. I remember the presentation. I wasn't impressed.
Well, we've got the presentation, I've got the presentation here, but the presentation could be a night and day difference, I don't know, between that and the contract. So I think we should, move the table.
Move to table.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Simonetti to table, seconded by Alderman Simons. Discussion? Being no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously to be tabled. And my understanding, if we table this, it's gonna come back up next month automatically.
That's
Next month or next meeting.
That's under your control. You
Yeah, I
can
mean,
table
if
something.
we have a special meeting, we could bring it up before next month. But normally, if you table something, it'll come up at your next regular meeting.
You cannot bring it up in the special meeting if it's tabled unless you have it as an item for the special meeting.
Okay.
All right.
8.6, 2025 HUD Consolidated Plan Community Development Block Grant Program.
Move to accept the City of Shelton Consolidated Plan and forward the Community Development Block Grant application as presented to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Further authorize Mayor Mark Gagliardi to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate the same.
Second.
This is the backup. This is the backup, and the backup in 96 pages.
The stock.
All right, so Paul, we're not going to give you credit twice.
That's all good.
But you got it. We understand what you did.
Yep.
Okay, any discussion? Among the aldermen? Anybody have any discussion? No discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. Okay. 9.2, appointments and reappointments to the Board of Ethics.
No, 8.7.
8.7.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah, you got mixed up,
I
yeah.
don't have a motion.
Oh, you get stuck under here. Okay.
Motion or back?
Item 8.7, garbage disposal agreement. I don't think we're ready for this.
No.
Motion and backup to come. So we're just not ready. Yeah.
This is your solid waste disposal contract. This is what's called an adhesion contract. There's nothing that we're gonna be able to change in that contract. They're the only show in town. The terms and conditions are the same as they were at the last contract. There's a deadline on that.
So the terms and conditions are the same. The only difference could be cost at the burn center or something like
Right.
that. And I believe that there was a slight, that comes from outside. We have no control over that. Even if we wanted to, we can't negotiate that, can't change it. So it appears that we've got to take an action on this. Yeah, this you don't want to let hang because I believe this contract expires June 30th.
Yeah.
So I think, and since the contract is an ongoing contract, it's built since we began doing business with Oak Ridge and its predecessor, we have utilized the same type of contract.
This contract is with Wheelbrader.
Wheelbrader, with Wheelbrader because that's a burn center.
That's
That's not mentioned in here at all.
that's not citywide for the trash pickup, or is that just real?
Just really grateful. This is just for the disposal. It's not for the pickup.
Thank
The only place for trash.
That name does not come up here at all on any of this documents.
We have no document on it.
Oh, there's an invoice attached.
No, that's for a different.
That's 8.8, Anthony.
Oh, I'm sorry. 8.7 says, oh, okay, yeah, I see, yeah. It says garbage disposal agreement. There's no name on it. Okay.
Well, let me ask, council. What, when the budget was put together, our understanding was that the motion, the backup was to come. And we're not even conversing on this thing. We're gonna look like a bunch of saps.
What budget?
With
You mean
I'm talking about the 8.7. When the motion and backup to come, the garbage disposal agreement. My point is, we're not even on the same page with the terminology.
John, I'm sorry, President Iglesias, if I can interrupt for one moment. This contract, which I can send to you, we do have, Attorney Tito has had it. It is almost a replicate of last year's contract. It has been budgeted for through the Department of Public Works. So it is not an additional budgetary item. The price has been known since the budget was put in. We were able to negotiate it about 1 cent less than the interlocal. So I can certainly send it out to you all for review. Obviously, it's your prerogative if you'd like to table it to the next meeting. But I think that, this is not a novel idea. It's nothing that the board has not seen before. So again, it's up to you what you'd like to.
Yeah, it may be up to us. Obviously, we understand that, but there's something missing here. There's something missing. There's a gap in the communications. There's what we're told, we're going to get a motion and a backup, and it's an agreement. We like to see the agreements. We like to go through them. We just don't want to rubber stamp them.
Then have a special meeting before June 30th to approve it, and you'll get the contract.
Accept it
We're gonna table this for a special meeting.
prior to June 30th. Okay. Move the table to a special meeting prior to June 30th for further action.
So moved.
Would be in order.
So moved.
Moved and seconded, moved by Alderman Simonetti, seconded by
Me.
Like Chris.
Chris Almacy. All right, discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Unanimous. Legislative new, 9-1A, no items, 9-2.
No, 8.8. It's on the back side of that last sheet. Yeah, it's not a separate item, yeah.
Not a sequence, but
I made
that's
that
what it is.
Here it is, right here.
Oh, yeah,
There it is.
they printed on the other side of the paper.
Yeah, that's what got me confused.
We're saving a few bucks. 8.8, G&H Paving LLC invoice payment.
Move to appropriate an amount of $22,402 for payment to G&H Paving LLC for a sidewalk project as proposed for Sanford Drive to the start of Gamble Place project with funding to come from aldermanic bonding pursuant to section 7.16 of the city charter.
Seconded for discussion.
Motion made and seconded. Yep. Discussion. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I know there's obviously new homes being put up there. Is this if this is part of the owners, or did they tear up what was there? Because there always was a sidewalk there from the 60s. Is this 75% of it? Or are we paying 50% of what was done? Do we know? Because normally when they replace a sidewalk, we give them, if concrete, it's 75%. If it's bituminous, we pay 50%. Is that that what this is? There was always a sidewalk there. Did they put a new one in?
Where-
Doing asphalt work.
You might ask, has this been looked at by the city
Engineer.
engineer?
This have to
Yeah,
be,
because there's no,
And
There's no letter from the engineer here.
My other question would be,
Move the table,
Chairman,
move the table.
John, I have another question though. Why are we using automatic bonding as opposed to, LoSiP or American Rescue for this?
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. I mean, is this something the city's doing or is it being done?
Well, it didn't come to the street committee,
No.
It's just a supplemental payment.
so
Move the table, we're not ready. for
so
this.
moved.
Second,
Motion made to table, second by Simonetti, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion made. Passed unanimously. Table. Okay, item 9.2. Appointments and reappointments to the Board of Ethics, we're not ready for this, so pass on it. Item 9.3, appointments to Anti-Litter Committee. Would you kindly read them as they appear here, and then we'll explain it later.
Move to appoint the following resident to the Anti-Litter Committee effective immediately. Mr. Ken Chersky, Republican, 40 La Hermitage Drive. Ms. Cheryl McMahon, Shelton, Connecticut. Ms. Dana Pagano, 58 Greystone Drive, Shelton, Connecticut. So
Okay.
moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Couple of things. And the second person, Cheryl McMahon, couple of things missing. Party affiliation is missing and address is missing. And perhaps we can do some more research and get that, but I don't think that should hold up the appointment because Anti-Litter Committee really needs all the help they can get. So I would move forward with the appointment. That's just secondary information which we can get.
well, for the, move.
So
Question.
move the question. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously. Okay. Okay, a motion to go into executive session would be in order.
Move to enter into executive session and to invite Corporation Counsel Teodoso, Administrative Assistant Kelly Bisano, and Fran Freer.
Second, so moved.
Motion made, seconded, discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered unanimously at the record show at 7 minutes after 6, we're going into executive session. Thank you.
Reporting turn.